What is going on, everybody? Down South 77 here again, and this is 3-Star Draw, an adult collector channel where we talk about G.I. Joe, usually G.I. Joe Classified. Every now and then we'll take a look at some other stuff that I like to collect. We might look at some Mythic Legions. We're definitely going to look at some Figura Obscuras. Who knows? We might look at some Turtles of Grayskull. Whatever. If I feel froggy, I'm going to jump. Today, however, we are talking about Joes. We talking about Joes. Not even talking about turtles. We talk about Joes. I don't ever talk about actual turtles, really. Anyway, so something that I was going to pass on. I've been saying that a lot lately. They have had a trend with releasing stuff that I'm not interested in, and then either the FOMO might get me, or I might take another look at it, or it might take somebody else getting it in hand for me to decide that I want to pick it up. And that is what happened with the subject of today's video. We are, of course, talking about number 137. I found this thing in the wild 2 days ago. We're at Wreckage and the Tiger Paw. Now, this is one of Hasbro's more famous recent snafus, because they really messed the bed up, didn't they, when they released this thing. This was a complete snafu when they dropped this thing, and it was sold out at Pulse before people knew it was there. And I went to Target, and I had it in my cart at Target, and was about to press the checkout button. I'd already gone through the whole rigmarole. It was there, biggity boom. And I thought, I got no affinity for this character, and I don't like Tiger Force. But the main thing, as cool as I thought this figure looked, is he's Firefly. He's V2 Firefly, which, as we know, if I can get this turned right way, so a lot of people had trouble with their V2 Firefly. Mine was okay. Mine was not as bad as most that I've seen, so I didn't have a huge problem with mine, but I knew a lot of people did, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I ain't going to do it. So the thing released from Target, and nobody can find it. I think it will be gettable. It's just new. But I decided I wanted it because I saw a video on it from Shark Eyes Toy View. He was the first person on YouTube to review it, and he's a friend of mine. I watched his review, and he's a big Wreckage fan. Actually, had to explain to me exactly who Wreckage was several months ago, and before this was announced. And they kind of fixed the torso. They tightened up the torso, or at least in the one he got, they did. And I've seen other people say that they straightened that issue out, which is a big leap forward for Hasbro, because they don't like to go back and fix their mistakes on the figures. Not that there are a lot of mistakes, but they're there, and they don't like to go back and fix them if it's a mold problem or whatever. So I decided, after I saw how cool he was in Shark's video, I decided to pick him up. And then when he released here, chaos ensued, and you can't find the thing anything. It's selling for crazy money on eBay, and there ain't no way I was going to pay that for it. But I usually have decent luck at Target, and it took a few tries, but I did actually find it in the wild on the shelf. And they also had the Tripwire Roadblock 2-pack. I didn't pick it up. That one I'm gonna make other avenues to get. I do want it. I want Roadblock. Roadblock's like Cobra Commander for me. I want all the Roadblocks. I don't know, that something about that 2-pack just ain't hitting. But we're here to talk about, I almost said the ferret. I'll probably do that. The Tiger Paw. I didn't have the Tiger Paw when I was a kid. I had a ferret. I don't ever remember having a Tiger Paw because I didn't really like Tiger Force. So we're going to go ahead and look at it. I mainly picked this up for Wreckage. I ain't going to lie. I thought about just doing the review on Wreckage because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the paw, but I think we'll go ahead and look at it. I've got the rest of Tiger Force. I'm probably going to wind up getting them. Might as well throw it on the shelf. So let's go ahead and take a look at it after this very long introduction, but you already knew what you was in for, didn't you?
Ah, Pawpaw's coming to visit me. Hello, Pawpaw.
There's Paw. There he is. I guess I got lucky not only finding it because I've seen a lot of people that have found these that there's a giant cut either here or here somewhere on the box. I mean, I'm going to open it, but I don't know. I just like my boxes intact. I keep all these things and all. So there's what the back looks like. And anybody needs the UPC for this thing, if you want to pause it, take a screenshot or whatever, there's the UPC for it. Makes it a little easier to scan. Hopefully that will show up if you do. So we will go ahead and get old Paw out. 3 pieces of tape on the side flap and it comes right out. We got our weapons crate. You guys miss these things yet? I kind of do, actually, after having to fight with the packaging trays. So we got our instructions, which I don't even think I addressed in my ferret video. I don't think I actually even saw them until it was over. So seems like that was the way it went because I had to look at the box to figure out how to put the brush guard thing on. So yeah, it comes with them. So there he is. I'm going to go ahead and just get everything out. You just cut these, cut the ones on the back for the tires, and it comes right out of there. I had a funny thought while I was getting all this stuff out, and I was cutting those evil little ties to pop the wheels out of the back. I was thinking, man, between these little ties and the trays, sometimes Hasbro's packaging is made better than the product, actually, with the type of plastic. Some of the packaging is made with stronger plastic than the actual toy is. So yeah, it's a little dark. I could cut on some more light. I thought we'd just go ahead and see what that dude looks like up close, and he looks good. I think just first impression before I get him out of there, man, he color pops. I do like him. A lot of detail in there. So go ahead and get this dude out of his coffin. Okay, so the plastic in the figures usually isn't that bad. It's the weapons. So as you can see, I do have his doppelganger out. Could you see him back there? Did you guys see him? I put that camo up. He kind of stands out, but he's gray. I actually wanted to see how he blended into it here in just a minute. So I have his doppelganger, and I have the Paw's doppelganger.
Huh?
So this is why I bought it. So I'm definitely gonna take a look at him first. And man, this figure feels really nice. Check out. I don't see how he moves because that was my biggest concern with this guy. And nice and crispy joints. Thing moves well. All right. Moment of truth. Man, doesn't it seem like that belt is that belt's a little high. That would cut you in two while you were riding this thing. All right, anyway, so not too bad. Not too bad. Ooh, nice ratchet. So he's a little loose. This is about how loose my Firefly is. This is the main thing I wanted to see with this entire set. So actually my Firefly is way looser than this guy is. This was my main reservation for buying this set. This and not really liking Tiger Force. I might have mentioned that a time or two in this video and others. He is pretty impressive looking. He's probably got the best Tiger Force paint job of anybody we've seen yet. Really nice with the tan on the black there. It's black or it's dark brown. I honestly can't tell under this light. It'll probably come out in the video, but I can't tell in the light. So, what kind of weird hand is that? Talk about wanting a trigger finger. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. I've never had a figure come out of the package that way before. Got a little stress there right out of the package with his trigger finger hand on his left hand. His trigger finger on his left hand. Right one wasn't that way. Boy, that was weird. Have you guys ever had a figure come out of the package that way? I've never seen one come out like that, but should be all good. I don't see any ain't no damage or anything. So this guy his joints are nice and tight. A little floppiness there, but that's not bad. So you get a good look at him. I don't really want to hold him up against Firefly. So this paint app on Wreckage brings out a lot of stuff in this Firefly paint job. This Firefly is fantastic, but when you look at him against this one, he is just really, really bland and drab. This is almost a perfect representation of Firefly. So different. He got a whole lot more detail in around the eyes with Wreckage. Eyes look great. Looks great around it. I hope that's paint. Maybe he's been hanging out with Low Light and Shockwave. Maybe they've been staying up all night watching G.I. Joe the movie or something. But there's a lot of detail that comes out in this figure that you don't get with the Firefly figure. I just can't quit looking at how well that it brings out some of like the little zippers on the pants. Like you couldn't even tell that. I didn't even know that little crease was there on Firefly, and they painted it here like it's a zipper. And the same thing with his over, I guess his whatever that is, his shirt, I guess. So it's a zip up. Got some over here on the sleeve on each side. So obviously he doesn't have the Cobra logos. Got Tiger Force up there. But look, I never realized, I guess that one's kind of obvious that that's a zipper, but you can even see the YKK on there, can't you? That looks good, man. Looks like a little bit of wonkiness at the bottom of the zipper, but you can't really, I can't complain about that. So this is a really nice looking figure, man. I like what they did with the balaclava there. It's got the skull looking print on there. It looks really good. This is a striking figure. This is what Tiger Force should look like. I ain't gonna lie. So look, he blends right in. He sneak right up on you. And put the sleeper on you. Hey, the set. We know what the ferret. If you've got a ferret, it's, same thing. We're going to look at it. But figure-wise, even his grenades really pop. It's got that brown over them that goes with the bandolier. On Fireflies, it's all just black, and it looks fine on Firefly, but just a little bit of paint. I say this about a lot of the stuff, just a little bit of paint goes a long way. So you got his explosive pouch here, green here, red on Wreckage, green and red, kind of a red, it's more of like a ruddy, like a rust color. And whereas it stands out on Firefly, it really fits in with the figure. On him, for some reason, it just kind of blends together well. And of course, he's got the same color on underneath. It matches that, and where Firefly's little turtleneck is gray, his matches this, and also matches his sheath on his arm there. They brought that out. I mean, you know, Firefly is supposed to blend in to the night. I mean, he's a saboteur. The color scheme works for him. He looks great. But when you start painting on it and bringing out these little details for a straight up repaint, like, you can't really even tell that he's a repaint. I mean, if you didn't know this was that same figure with a different head sculpt, you would actually, it's not even a different head sculpt, I don't think. I think it's the same, I think it's the exact same head as Firefly. Looks like it. I've watched 2 reviews on this, I think. No, I watched Shark Eyes and I watched half of another one recently. And I know that was pointed out. It's the same head sculpt. And if you didn't know these were the same figure, this is how to do repaints. Oh, timber, something's always got to fall over. My yellow bricks here are a little flimsy. That's why I put them on the side. I was hoping they'd go that way. But back to the figure, if you didn't know it, like, it looks like a completely different figure. Stands well. So let's go ahead and look at his stuff. Now, I didn't realize that he came with, or I realized it, I just kind of skipped over that part. He comes with pretty much the same stuff that Firefly does. He's even got the mines. And separate this from that here. So he's even got the mines. He doesn't have the car, but he has the controller for the car. I still like this as a detonator. I know everybody was like, it's the controller for the car. Well, guess what? With Wreckage, it is not the controller for the car. It is a detonator because he doesn't come with the car. I do like what they've done with the backpack. I've got Fireflies here where I just took it off of him. Didn't paint the keypad. Got blue on Wreckages versus red on the panel on Fireflies. It's just the same brown, really flows together well. Same backpack minus the car. Looks nice. And here's Firefly's car controller. They didn't put the 3 on there. They didn't put the number on Wreckages. So I guess if you ever mix these up, that's how you can kind of tell them apart. So let's see if it will go on there. Actually goes on good. This is the kind of backpack I like. Pegs long enough and it fits on him. So we have the submachine gun here, which this part's kind of weird. So the suppressor is back to the gray. So like they didn't cast that in brown. It matches on Fireflies, but on this weapon, it's gray. And the magazine is gray. So it's just a little, that don't look, it looks okay. I mean, it's honestly, much as I say I wish they'd do those in different colors, not those colors. His actually would have looked better in all brown, I feel like. But, and it's just because this guy doesn't have any gray on him. Come on, gotta have trigger finger. Maybe I should try this in the left hand because we already know that trigger finger is a little stretched, don't we? I don't like being able to see the stress. Get in there. Good Lord. To take a break after that. I don't like being able to see the stress on the fingers after just trying to get the weapons in. I wish The hands are one thing that could stand to be a little, slightly gummier. So it don't look bad with him holding it with the gray on the mag and the suppressor. It just looks strange. So he's got the mines. So this dude is he's gonna be able to do some wreckage. He's gonna get in, do some demolition. Get these things popped on here. They actually stay on pretty well. Just don't hit them from the side. You will pop them off. So it does have the pistol. You can put the suppressor on this pistol, which looks absolutely weird. And it looks even weirder on the pistol with it being the desert camo or desert color. Coyote, I think that's called. Coyote tan is what they call the brown, although this is a little darker than coyote tan. That goes in, and he does have the knife, and knife does have a painted blade. So we like that. We like painted blades around here. It's just kind of weird how it fits on there. Of course, Firefly's is same. It just really, it's fine when his arm is straight, but when his arm is kicked out, it's a little weird. It catches on stuff. So go ahead and put the little controller in there. It's not in there good, folks. Make sure you push it down in there. Get his hand around it. There we go. So this is actually a fantastic looking figure, and I have no real complaints with Wreckage as a figure other than, reissue, repaint, but he looks good. His weapons looks good. This is really the only mess, and if you're going to do this, go ahead and give him the car, I guess. If you're going to give him the mines, the backpack, throw the car in there too, but he doesn't really leave anything to be desired in my book. He looks good. Make sure he's going to stand there. Didn't pose him around too much. So let's get our paw. Got our directional tires and wheels. Nice little snap there. And get that turned around. Turn around. Let's see if those are the same. Yep. Of course, these don't say Cobra. Wouldn't that be funny if they said Cobra? Like, I bet somewhere out there's a Tiger Paw that's going to come with the Cobra wheel. You know it's going to happen somewhere out there. So go ahead and get all this snapped together here. So it looks like I did this backwards last time. I've already done one of these. You'd think it would be easy. Everything lined up. Get our brush guard snapped in there. Get our handlebars. This is a silver and this is a yellow. We're going to look at that in just a minute. Not a lot to putting this thing together. Ooh, that's creaky. Creaky. We didn't look at the Bosch helmet. We'll look at that. There's not a lot to putting these things together, really. The brush guard part that kind of threw me for a loop the first time. Of course, I also didn't look at the directions. This part's kind of ratchet. man, this one's really tough going on there. So the cannon really is probably the worst thing about this set. On the ferret, I mean, same deal here. And of course that thing's it's all bent. It won't take much to bend that one back into shape. It didn't here. This one was kind of bent too. I like the difference in the paint though on the cannon. It makes it look a little bit better. So again, you want to make sure when you put these things on that you've got this stuff facing up, because you got some sculpting on this side. For our multi-directional bent cat dog missiles, I've seen people calling these the cat dog missiles, and that just kind of sticks, doesn't it? Because that looks like cat dog. Probably don't need to put all this stuff on here to do a comparison of these things, but might as well go ahead and put it together while we're here. The missiles on these do fall off kind of easy. They do on the ferret too. And this one's way looser. Let's swap them around and see if we have better luck. You can put either one of them on either side, but sometimes plastics with this stuff, it will fit better on one side than the other, even if it's the same. I think it's a little better on this side. I'm sure it's going to fall off. Anyway, all right. So we got the gas cap painted red over here instead of the Cobra symbol. You got your tiger, shark. You've got the Tiger Force mouth over here. Engine, silver here, black here. You got Tiger Force back here, where on here you have the secure cover. And this has got another, this one's got the American flag on it. And we have that on, I think, the Night Pursuit cycle or the original Ram. It's on one of them things. We're going to have as many of these by the time it's over with. So up here you've got the tiger eye, and you got the marking here. Got no step, and this marking is absent on the paw. This is actually mud that I thought I got off of here from when I took this. I scrubbed it with the toothbrush, but I was more worried about the wheels than I was anything else. So I got a little more cleaning to do. This thing's been about this deep in water. So back here, you got your red on the tail lights. No differences back here on this side. Here you've got yellow on the ferret and silver on the paw, which kind of seems a little backwards, doesn't it? Like, I think this silver would have looked better over here and yellow over here because it matches here. But hey, that missile fell off. Told you that was going to happen. So back here you've got actually G.I. Joe. I like that on the back. And then you've got secure cover on this side too on this one. You don't get any cool deco over here, I guess, other than the tiger stripes as the cool deco. But the Cobra, of course, you do have the awesome Cobra logo that we see on the hiss and all of that. And you do have the size of the quad. I wish that was on here, but, I mean, it doesn't fit. I mean, let's be honest, they're not going to throw that on there. Engine cover and all black on this. You can still see the detail, but obviously it stands out more on the ferret in silver. And of course this one's not gonna have the cool missile launch information sticker on it pledging loyalty to Cobra. I thought it would have been funny if they had have put a similar sticker over here that was like, you must be dedicated to Joe's or whatever. I thought that would have been funny if they did that. I was wondering how they were going to handle that one. Overall though, man, this is a pretty good looking set. Here we go. How did that happen? You see that? It was all just one way. This one's going to be a problem. This is going to be problem missile right here. Take this thing outside. You're going to have to be careful with this missile. I might take and like try to drill that a little bit. I don't know. I don't like doing that kind of stuff, but I don't like losing accessories either. So we got to take a look at the Ninja Turtle helmet here. We're getting these with a lot of the drivers. I like all of them. I like this one. It's got the teeth here. It's a nice silver visor. Got the red there for, I guess that's targeting infrared stuff. And then up here looks like he has wiped out 7 something. I'm going to say Python Patrol because in my mind, Tiger Force fights Python Patrol. So when you throw that on him, it kind of throws the look off a little bit, I think. Like, he ain't hiding over here, and he ain't hiding in the camo anymore, is he? Not with that on. But I suppose looks good because it matches the vehicle pretty well. Down here, the more yellow, it's off a little, but it's not off much. All right, that looked a little strange. I had to go plug a light back in. I don't know where I was actually. So anyway, the helmet. Helmet matches well enough. Matches. This is kind of a mustard, and this is kind of a not mustard. Yellow. It's yellow. Yellow fella. You guys remember the yellow fella from the Yellowwood commercials? Did you guys have those? Wonder what happened to that dude. I know they didn't go out of business because Yellowwood is very expensive if you're going to build something. So this guy actually, his joints are nice and crispy, so getting him in a nice seated position on here will be somewhat interesting. Now with the Scout, with the smaller female figure, it's actually a little bit harder. So got to put his hands on the handlebars here, see how much trouble that's going to be, and then we'll see where we're at for getting him seated. Man, his hands are, ooh-wee, the plastic on his hands is hard. Now, I'm typically, whoa, that's not good, is it? Oh, I hate it when that happens. Typically, I'm not going to have them holding on to the brake. So you're going to do a little more work getting this guy actually setting on the seat. So you're going to have to actually use these double jointed knees a whole lot more with Wreckage than you will with the Scout. But looky there. And he actually does have enough range of motion in the head, so he can look forward, and you ought to be able to get just a little bit more out of that, and out of that. So you can actually get him, and he sets forward enough on it, you could probably get a figure in behind him. It's going to be probably going to have to do the ankles like that, which you really don't want to ride a four-wheeler with your ankles like that, but for purposes of this, Firefly's, his legs are really, really stiff at his knee joints too. The top one on this Firefly is really, really stiff. I had to heat this guy up. And I haven't actually moved his knees around for a while, so I may have to heat him again just to see if I can get him on here for demonstration. I'm almost kind of scared to go bending this Firefly around with that torso. So you're going to be able to do it with some finagling. It's a whole lot easier to get the Scout on here with another figure than it is with these guys, but you'll be able to do it. Do those knees with his feet there, And that's how you'll be able to do that. If he's got to rescue him, or you can get his hand on this handle somewhat. It's not much of a handle. It's a lot easier with the Scout. I had the Scout and a Valkyrie on here. So the cannon actually fits a little worse than it does on the ferret for whatever reason. So the way the hands are curved, it's going to be really hard to get on the handle and keep the gun actually on there. So that's passable. He's steadying himself, shooting. It's on there pretty well. So you can actually get two male bucks on here. Work on his knees a little bit. Might be able to get a little more, but that actually works pretty well if you want to figure out how to put two males, two dudes on here. That's gonna be your way to do it. It actually works. Don't look too bad. But I haven't messed with this Firefly for a while, and man, yeah, I forgot how bad his knees were. It's funny how the knee joints can be so tight, and then something like the torso is so far off. But I like this set. I can't hate on this set a bit. I don't, again, not a Tiger Force fan. I was really scared of this Wreckage figure having the same loose torso as Firefly, and this guy does not seem to suffer from it. Everybody that I've seen that has this set, their Wreckage is in good shape. And I've been one to say that Hasbro does not like to go back and fix their mistakes. I just said it recently in another video, and with this one, at least, it appears that they have. This guy is going to be awesome going outside to do some pictures and stuff with. If you do photography, this will be a man. They'll get this guy in some grass and some dirt. It's going to even be better than the ferret, I think. So what do you guys think about it? Have you been able to score one of these? I wouldn't overpay for this thing just yet, because Pulse is just now starting to kind of release theirs. I think we're going to see them at Targets. It may take a little bit, but it's not, especially if you already have the ferret, it's nothing groundbreaking. I mean, if you're a Tiger Force fan, you're going to want it. Just the repaint, but it is definitely one of the better repaints in the entire line, I must say. So for the whole set overall, this is, for me, this is a 4.5 out of 5 yeehaws for me. That is remarkably high. And the only reason I can even count anything off for this is, one, it is all a repaint. Two, the different color plastic here and not coming with the car. And those are just minor things, because I'm not really going to use much of that stuff. I'm not going to use this stuff with this guy. And a lot of times he might not even have this gun, but it's got the helmet. This is a really, really good set. So I'm going to sing its praises and recommend you guys actually pick this up, whether you're a fan of Tiger Force or not. So really good marks. What you guys think? You picking him up? Have you picked him up? What'd you pay for him? If you did, keep hunting them targets, because when I saw it, the online inventory showed no stock. It showed that it had the Tiger Force 2-pack with tripwire and roadblock. None of these. He was on the shelf when I got there, and tripwire and roadblock were there, but they weren't even out on the shelf yet. So keep checking your targets. Guys, if you like this review, I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up, that subscribe, that like, all that good stuff, that bell notification, all of it. Hit it all except for the thumbs down, Charlie Murphy. And I will see you guys in the comments. See y'all next time on 3SD.
Gimme paw!